This is Dan Ferrisi, editor with Sound and Communications Magazine. Happy to be joined by Ying Khang, Director of Marketing for the Americas for Barco. Thank you for joining me, Ying.
Hi, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here.
So the topic, of course, is COVID-19 and how the commercial AV industry is coming together, rising above, continuing to push forward through this crisis. And obviously that's something Barco is definitely doing. My first question is, Barco, as we all know, is a global organization. It has offices all over the world, including in the US and Europe, et cetera. In terms of travel restrictions, mandatory work from home orders, essentially the lockdown that the world or large parts of the world is in right now, how have business operations been affected to this point? Are people still coming into the office? Are their manufacturing facilities still open? Shipping facilities? How have manufacturing and other operations been affected, if at all?
Sure, great question, Dan. This has been something, because as you mentioned, Barco is a global company that we as a company have been addressing since January. We have offices in China as well. So as early as January, they were already starting to work from home. And so that part of the world is returning back to work. So that's great to hear. And they are actually doing well, going back into work, and business is picking up there as well. And so we're excited to see that they're rebounding. In Belgium and in the US, we started working from home about a month ago. So we were not traveling anymore since about a month ago when everything, when travel restrictions and everything like that was implemented in the US. And so our employees have been working from home, have been communicating with our partners and customers via virtual meetings, just like you and I are doing right now. And so we are adjusting to the current times with being able to meet over whether it's Microsoft Teams or Zoom, platforms like that.
So I'm glad to hear that the internal dynamics and operations are still strong and going well. What about for the people who depend on Barco gear? Obviously, Barco gear is in demand throughout the vertical markets. You have a lot of really innovative technologies and demand is always high. How has the supply chain been for your products? And has there been any diminution in your ability to get those products to the people who want them for installed applications or any other kind of a situation? Has the lockdown and the travel restrictions and supply chain issues to any extent limited your ability to get people the products they're demanding?
No, so in fact, we have prioritized some products in front of others, right? So we do still have essential employees, especially in our manufacturing plants and our services teams going into the office. But again, those are essential employees, especially around our healthcare business. And so that has been a business where we've got remote read solutions. We also have a technology called Barco Synergy that allows tumor boards to still meet and collaborate, especially remotely. That was already a technology that we had to enable the workforce there. And then in our other technology spaces, especially even for LCD, there's been a challenge in getting some of that product as well, but Barco has been able to deliver on that. We still have inventory with our distributors. So supply chain has not been drastically affected by that.
Well, that's very, very good to hear. I mean, not just for the welfare of the industry, but also for your customers and the people who depend on your technologies and products. Barco is obviously a marquee name in the industry. Part of being a marquee name in the industry is in times of duress, in times of crisis, I think your fellow industry peers look to you and the executives within the organization for words of wisdom, words of solace, words of advice. So as a commercial AV family member, and we really are one commercial AV family, what would you offer to your peers, your colleagues, even your competitors, integrators, consultants, all members of the AV family who are looking for some guidance right now?
I think now is the best time for us to really rely on each other, right? Communicate openly, transparently. We're here to support our partners and our customers. So we've been, our sales team has still been reaching out to our partners and customers and just offering, whether it's, business conversations or just someone for them to talk to during these tough times. We have seen some very challenging times with our partners, our customers. We've got them in all different industries, and so everyone has been affected in very different ways. Some people are, this has been, despite the challenges, it's still been a very successful time for them in terms of business. Some we're seeing more challenges with, right? but through it all, we've been reaching out. I think the conversations are important, especially as we work from home. It's more important than ever that we are able to connect with each other, to rely on each other through these times, to have the open discussions of how we can be a better partner and help support them during these times. And so that has been the focus of our organization the last month, is just to make sure that our partners are aware that we're still here for them. We're still working business as usual. We're here. And our team has always been, Barco is known for being a great partner, and that's what we'll continue to do during these times. And so, there may be ways that, we're not thinking of that we can better help support the channel, and we would love to be able to do that. And so, just again, having those conversations with us, we definitely love to help. And as we continue to work virtually, I think, there's still a lot of uncertainty ahead of us, but we certainly have resources, whether it's, they can reach out to someone internally at Barco. And we also have resources on our website on barco.com around COVID-19. So we've got helpful blogs and tips and things like that for people who are having to work virtually now. We're also offering training programs during this time as well, so that when people do return back to work, that they've taken this time while they're at home to make the most of it. And so a lot of virtual trainings are coming up. We've been doing some of that, especially in our entertainment business as well. We've done some very successful training events recently. And so we're looking to educate our partners, enable them, and get them ready for when business comes back, and when we're back in the office in the next few months. And the other thing that we're doing too is just, making sure that our partners are aware of our solutions and how we're able to help them when they get back into the office. I think when we go back, it'll still be a very different work environment. And so we're excited. We launched ClickShare conference earlier this year, and that's been something that as people go to work from home, when they return back to the office, we think there's a great opportunity there, because we don't believe that it will be everyone returning back to the office all at once. It'll continue to go in these phases, and we definitely think we offer some solutions that can help make it easier for people to collaborate, whether they're remote or they're in the office. And so we're excited about that opportunity as well. And we'll get through this. We'll get through this together. Barco is a long-standing company. We've seen a lot. We've been through a lot, and I'm confident that with our partners in this industry, we will all get there stronger and better than ever, and we'll return back to work here soon. Well, we are still back to work, but at least back to the office.
I couldn't agree more. And I think the point you made about the conferencing technology and the collaboration kind of technology is very salient, because that's exactly what people like you and me and really all of us in the industry are relying upon now. To the extent there was any learning curve, I think people are starting to master that. And then when we do slowly in waves go back to the office, people are going to be wanting to use that kind of conferencing and collaboration technology that they've become accustomed to using when they were pretty much quarantined at home.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Ying. I really do appreciate you taking the time. Continued wellness to you, your family, your colleagues. And I look forward to seeing you on the trade show circuit when we're all back allowed to be on the road again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure.